Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the League is for Everyone tutorial series. Today we're going to be doing the third tutorial, which is called Shop for Gear. We're going to learn how to buy items, which is very exciting. So if you don't remember how to get there, it's go to play, and then up here go to training, and then tutorial, confirm. If you want to, you can go back and try the other tutorials again. But we're going to go for number 3, shop for gear. Start now. So now we're going to wait a second while the game loads up. Should be pretty quick. We're going to learn about the shop and hopefully a few other things, depending on how much the tutorial allows me to do. I want to talk a little bit more about towers, hopefully, and how they work, just to make sure that that's understood. And also some more kind of general philosophical stuff about playing League. Since this load is taking a little bit, I might talk about that now. Up to 80%. Basically, something I want to instill is that just like in traditional sports, you can be taught things in League and in the moment still execute them incorrectly. And I just want to reinforce that that's okay. There are lots of things that it's you can know theoretically what you're supposed to do, and in the moment you just kind of panic and you don't quite execute it, and that's normal. And don't worry about it; it happens all the time, even to really experienced players. So today we're going to learn about buying things, which is fun. There's lots of ways to buy things. You can click the shopkeeper. You can click down here on your gold, or you can hit P. I'm going to hit P. I like using the keyboard for things. So this is actually a weird screen. This isn't what you see in game. This is what you see in intro games. But it's trying to help you understand how the items combine. So after this, I might show you what the real screen looks like as well. But basically, there's this recommended items tab, and it shows you, look, you can buy a dagger. And then if you get 1,100 more gold, so dagger plus 1,100 gold, then it combines into a new item called Zeal. So items combine with other items to make other items. So you can see here, I clicked Runon's Hurricane. Runon's Hurricane is a finished item. So you can see over here on the right, at the top of the tree is Runon's Hurricane. This is a finished item we can build. But it builds out of other things. So you can see down here, if we've got a dagger and a cloak of agility, that builds into Zeal. And then if you put 2 daggers and combine those with the Zeal, then you get the Runon's Hurricane. We're going to go over this a lot of times because it's confusing to everyone when they first learn it. This is easily one of the most confusing parts of the game. So in order to buy stuff, I usually right-click it in the shop. You can also double left-click, but right-click is faster because it's only a single click. So I'm going to buy this dagger. So I've bought something now. And now it's telling me to deal the killing blow to 12 minions, because remember that when you deal the killing blow to a minion, you get gold for it. We're also going to remember to level up our abilities. In this case, I'm going to hold down Control and then Q to level up the ability it recommends. I've got a friend coming with me to lane, which is great. Always good to have a friend around. So I'm right-clicking to move, remember. Here are the enemy minions. I'm going to watch their health go down, time my auto attacks. I'm going to right-click the minions to shoot them. Missed that one, that's okay. You'll see every time missed that one. Every time I get the killing blow, you see the little gold pop up there. It's suggesting that I take E. There are no enemies around, so it's safe to think about my abilities for a second. I'll hit Control and E. I can use my abilities to kill the minions too. Like if I hit Q and hold it down, it'll show me the range. So I can hold down Q, put it over a minion, and let go. Pow! And it dealt some damage to the minions behind as well. I can hold down E. Oh, looks like this is going to be a circular ability. I can put some different places. I'll put it over here, let go of E. Pow, 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 pow. Bullet rain on the minions. Suggesting I level up an ability. Step out of the turret range, Control W. We're going to hit the tower. There are no enemy champions right now, so I'm not going to talk about how towers work, because I want some enemy champions around for that. Walked into turret range like a champion. No minions to help me. Clicky, clicky, clicky. Hit the tower. We're getting extra gold for destroying these plates. I forget if I talked about that in the last video, but these kind of delineated health bars above the turrets. Above the turret are its plate count. And if you destroy those plates, if you like get through that delineated bar, you get extra gold. And so that's a really good way to get gold in the early game, is to hit those turret plates. So now there's many enemy champions here, so I have to be careful. Remember that the turret's top priority, the thing it cares the most about, is defending its friends. So if I attack a champion under the tower like that, and look, the tower starts attacking me because that's its top priority. Once I'm not attacking its friend anymore, if I'm just attacking the minions, the tower is okay with that. I can even attack the tower and the tower won't defend itself. It's so selfless. It just is only caring about defending its friends and not itself. So I can attack the tower as long as I've got minions with me. But even if I don't attack an enemy champion, look, as soon as I don't have minions with me, now it's willing to kill me. So it's gonna, oh yeah, I died. But remember our mantra, dying is learning. So I'm gonna hit P. I'm gonna go back to the shop. You can shop while you're dead, which is actually a pretty good way to save time. So the shop is informing me, look, you've already got your dagger, check. Plus 1,100 gold, and I can get Zeal. So I'm gonna right click Zeal. And now it's telling me, look, if you've got Zeal and dagger and 900 gold, you can get Runon's Hurricane, which I'm gonna do. But I'll show you on the tree over here. So look, we've got Zeal. You can tell this is all laid out so poorly, and I apologize on behalf of Riot. They should make this better. You can see in the lower left here, these are the items I actually have. I've got Zeal. I'm going to buy 2 more daggers. You can see that the price of this went down when I bought the daggers. Let me undo. You can undo purchases, which is nice. Right now, it's telling me 1,200 more gold till Runon's Hurricane. When I buy the 2 daggers, look, now it's only 600 gold. It went down by the amount that I spent on the daggers. Now I can right-click Runon's Hurricane, and look, that's something I have now. I can buy some boots over here. Boots are great because they give you more movement speed, so it's going to help me get back to lane faster. And this is informing me, hey, look, if you've got boots and a dagger, you can build Berserker's Greaves, which are a better kind of boots. So I'm going to go ahead and buy another dagger. This is informing me, look, you got 500 more gold until you can get these Berserker's Greaves. You've already got the boots. You've already got the dagger. Now you need 500 more gold. You can see your gold total right here. I've got 450 gold. Normally you don't want to spend quite this long in the shop, although often you will when you're learning the game. That's fine. But, ideally you want to leave the shop pretty quickly, as quick as you can. Just don't sit there forever. But take your time, look at the items. It is nice to understand what you're doing, to make sure that you're not just buying a bunch of redundant items. And it can be confusing because sometimes you need a bunch of an item. Like sometimes you can use a bunch of daggers and to combine into an item. Like for Runon's Hurricane, we bought a total of 3 daggers, but sometimes you only need one of an item. Like we only needed 1 Cloak of Agility in that recipe. So, just depending on what items you're buying, sometimes you need a lot of a basic item. Sometimes you only need 1 of them. So it's just something you learn as you play the game. Don't worry about it too much. Don't worry too much about buying the right items. Generally, it's good to finish the big items. tower's attacking me. That's fine. You know, it's good to finish the big items like Rudon's Hurricane, the finished items. So you kind of want to move towards that. Something I see a lot of new players do is they buy a lot of basic items. So I'll like look in their inventory and they'll just have like 6 daggers. Um, and it's not terrible, but the upgraded items like Zeal and Runon's Hurricane, the items that build out of the basic items, they're always worth it. They're always better than um, they're always better than just having like more of the basic items, and it's also more efficient because you can kind of get more power out of fewer item slots because you can only have 6 items at a time. So if you've got an item that's essentially worth like more than 2 daggers, but it's only taking up 1 slot, that's better for you, right? Oof, I took a tower shot. I got my ultimate ability somewhere in there while I was talking. If I hold down R, I can kind of see. Oh, it's like a big cone. It's like a cone of coniness. So we'll try that out next time we see someone. Maybe I'll heal. I'll walk back near Tark and I'll hit F. You can see down here on my F key there's heal. Hey, now we got some more life. That's kind of nice. Just trying to last hit those minions, earn that gold so I can buy some more stuff at the shop. Here's a big old gargoyle guy. Maybe I can kill him with my ultimate. It appears that killing him with my ultimate was very reasonable. This other guy ran away. I don't really know where he went. He got scared. He saw me kill his gargoyle friend and peaced out. Seems reasonable. We're killing the minions. You can see how much easier it is to kill the minions too when you've got items. The item descriptions are pretty long and they have a lot of stats attached and they're pretty, there's like a lot of detail to that, and that's like a whole area of the game is like what items to buy in what situations, and it's really just it's not that useful to think about early on. Like you should really just buy the recommended items, you know, kind of pay attention roughly to what they do, but just don't worry about changing what you buy too much. Just like learn what a few items do, buy the same things all the time, because when you're learning, you really just want to limit the variables and uh, focus on the things that you can while keeping as many things the same. You know, limiting variables of what changes from game to game. So by buying the same items, I just got a pentakill. It means I killed everyone on their team, so that's kind of cool. You want to limit the variables so that as little changes from game to game as possible, so that you can focus on the things that do inevitably change from game to game, like seeing new champions or being in a new position or you know whatever, you know, being in a different part of the map, just kind of learning your bearings as you like walk around the map. Um, so yeah, like finding a champion that you like pretty well, playing them a lot, building the same items on them all the time so that you can just kind of learn how those items work. That's really great. There's plenty of time to learn all the intricacies of different items and why you might want them in different situations, but it's just probably not worth your time to worry about when you are starting out. You know, it's kind of like a can of worms. This is like not worth it to really open. Um, I'd say the most important thing is just like I said, making sure that you're not stacking your inventory with a ton of basic items and that you are upgrading them into the finished items. Especially with boots, a lot of new players forget boots. Boots are really important because move speed and moving across the map becomes important later. So make sure that you get boots and you upgrade your boots. So look, this is telling me you need boots, you need a dagger, that you can get the upgraded boots. Click, click. Awesome. So now here's some additional items recommended for me. I want this one. So you can see this one builds out of the basic items are longsword, BF sword, cloak of agility. The longswords build into a Caulfield's Warhammer, and then that finishes off into Essence Reaver. So just to show you, so you know, here's my 7,000 gold or whatever. I've got a lot, so I can build a sword. You can see the price of the Caulfield's Warhammer go down. Click the Caulfield's Warhammer. Now this price goes back up to 1,100 because I don't have the component pieces anymore, right? to get a whole new Caulfield's Warhammer, I need another 1100 gold because I already used the pieces that I had to make the one that's in my inventory. Build a BF sword, build a Cloak of Agility. Now look, once you build all the pieces, this only costs $100 to finish. 100 gold or whatever. Click it. Awesome. The components of this item are really expensive. Look, 1300, 875, 800. There's no little 350 pieces. So that, probably indicates to you, hey, this item's pretty good. Costs a bunch of money. Must do something. Now I'm going to fill out my inventory with a couple swords. Basic long swords. So now, I'm going to walk back. I can see on my mini map over here, I can see all those little red dots. That's the enemy team. Looks like they're trying to push down my tower. I can't let them do that. That's my tower. I'm going to hit D to use Ghost. That lets me run faster. Oh, lets me be so fast. I think my W lets me run faster too, maybe. Okay, let's hit him with this thing. The Q, maybe let's catch up to him and, oh, yeah, that was easy. Okay. Well, my friends helped too. That was awesome. So, always good to have friends. So yeah, now that we killed those pesky guys, what's over here? What's the jungle? There are jungle monsters. Can I fight these? Let's find out. Oh yeah, I can. And look, I got gold for killing it too. That's cool. Normally they'll hurt you. I'm pretty powerful now since I bought so many items. Normally they could deal a fair amount of damage to you, so you do have to be a little bit careful. Let's start my ult. Ah, take so much damage. We're gonna have to kill this cow now. Sorry, cow. Oh, let's kill this guy. I want another pentakill. There we go. So again, I didn't spend a lot of time reading what my items did. I just made sure I was building fully upgraded items. That I wasn't just buying, if my inventory was just 6 longswords right now, I'd be a lot less powerful. As long as you're building some kind of upgraded item that appears on your recommended page, you're probably building something that's worthwhile. I'm going to fight these people. Come back here, Morgana. Got a Q for you. Oh, hit her with the Q. I smell another pentakill. There it is. So now we're going to go ahead and destroy their base. Lay waste to their nexus. You know how it is. Do the things you do. It'll probably take you longer to win this. If you're a less experienced player, that's fine. Take your time, learn, die. It's all good. No one's watching you. You can't even, there's not even an option to play the tutorial with your friends. And they can't watch you play. They can't spectate it. There's no record of how you did. The games you play in the tutorial will disappear into the ether forever. No one will ever know what happened. If you die 37 times, no one will ever know, and it doesn't matter. Just a good time to learn. So we won that one. Learned some things about the shop. I do want to show you what the regular shop looks like, but we're going to walk through this champion capsule thing real quick. Basically, capsules contain rewards in them. So this came with 3,000 blue essence. Tells you can use this to unlock champions in the store. So again, this is the in-game currency you can use to unlock more champions because you don't always get to play with all the champions. So you want to unlock more of them and find ones that you really like. So I'm going to hit play. I'm going to go to training. I'm going to click practice tool. I'm going to click confirm. This lets me go in the practice tool, and I'm just going to use it right now to show you a little bit more about the shop and how the shop will look during regular games and to practice buying some things. But the practice tool is really powerful and lets you do a lot of different things. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and look at the items for, let's do Riven. So I click Riven, I click confirm, and that's going to let me go into the practice tool with Riven. Riven is a melee character. She attacks close up. She's got a big sword that she smacks people with. She's very mobile, which means she has abilities that let her move around very quickly. The characters I've played so far mostly haven't had those kinds of abilities. They kind of just have to right click to walk, whereas Riven has abilities that move her further. So she's good at chasing people and she's good at running away, which can be nice. So we're a practice tool, and I'm going to do a little bit of cheating here, just to show you how the shop works. So on the left, there's all these things you can do in the practice tool. Right now, we're going to add gold. So I'm going to give myself 10,000 gold just to show you how the shop works in a real game. So I'm going to hit P, open up the shop. So, oops. So this is what the shop will look like normally for you if you're playing Riven. The shop knows what character you're playing, and it will recommend items for you based on that character. So it tells you what your starting items are. Normally you start with 500 gold, so it'll tell you, get a longsword, get 3 potions, and that would be exact, and a ward, which is free, and that'll give you spend exactly 500 gold. So it'll just tell you how to spend your first 500 gold, and you should do what it says. Just buy the potions, buy the longsword. It's good. I gave myself extra gold, so you can say I still have 10,000 left over. So that tells you, okay, here are the early items that you want. So boots, those are always good. So I bought some boots by right-clicking it. You can see it appears down here. When I click the Caulfield's Warhammer, this is where it can get confusing because Caulfield's Warhammer is an advanced item. So it builds out of 2 longswords, right? You already have one of the longswords that it suggested from starting items. But sometimes new players will come back and they'll see Caulfield's Warhammer here, and they'll wait till they have another 750 gold, not realizing that they can buy a longsword right now, and they can still get the extra attack power from the longsword without having to actually finish the Warhammer. So that's something to keep in mind is when you see an item over here as a recommended early item, left click it, and then over on the right, you'll see what basic items comprise it. So even if you can't afford the full level 2 item, you can still get the basic item that built into it. You can still get some of the power right away. And then above, you'll see what Caulfield's Warhammer can build into. So the reason this is recommended early is because Caulfield's Warhammer builds into Death's Dance. So Death's Dance is right here, essential items. And then up here, you can see Caulfield's Warhammer builds into Death's Dance. So that's why it's recommending that you build it, is because eventually it becomes this essential finished item, level 3 item. So if you click the Death's Dance, you can see here's the Caulfield's Warhammer over here. It also builds out of Vampiric Scepter and Aegis of the Legion. So I'll build my Caulfield's Warhammer. It also suggests I build Phage. So why does it suggest I build Phage? I'll give you a couple seconds to guess. Okay, so if I click Phage, what do you notice on the right-hand side? Oh, it's telling me that I need to move around, otherwise I'll be considered AFK, which is hilarious because this is practice mode, so who cares if I'm not moving. But in a real game, you can't sit still for this long, it gets mad at you. Okay, so what do you know about Phage? You can see it builds out of Ruby Crystal and Longsword. And you also notice up here, it builds into Black Cleaver. And what's one of our recommended essential items? Black Cleaver. So it's telling you, you want to build these 2 items early so that eventually you can build them into these 2 items. So here's, I left click Black Cleaver, and look, Black Cleaver builds out of, you guessed it, Phage, and this other thing called Kindle Gem, which itself builds out of Ruby Crystal. So when I build the Phage, you can see the price go down. Started at 3,000, build Phage, this goes down to 750. So this price always shows you how much gold it would cost based on the components you already have. Once I buy Kindle Gem, right-click Kindle Gem, shows 950. That's how much extra gold I need in order to finish this item once I already have Phage and Kindle Gem. Once I finish this item, it goes back up to 3,000. If I wanted to buy another Black Cleaver, it'd be 3,000 gold. But you basically never want 2 of the exact same item. It's okay to build 2 items that come from the same middle item. So like, Phage is like a level 2 item, right? And that also builds into Trinity Force, you can see up here. So sometimes it can be okay to build something that comes out of the same middle item. A better example might be like Kindle Gem. Kindle Gem also builds into Spirit Visage. And you could very well build Spirit Visage on Riven, but you don't ever want to build like two Black Cleavers. The essential items will always include some recommended boots, or it always should, some level 2 boots. Right now we've got the level 1 boots. You can tell they're level 1 because they're really boring looking and brown. The level 2 boots always look more exciting. You always want to get like the boring boots early. They're only 300 gold. It's really worth it. And you always want to get the level 2 boots later. You don't always have to, that doesn't necessarily have to be your first finish item. Like here it recommends that you finish your Black Cleaver before getting your upgraded boots. But you always want upgraded boots eventually. And they're usually not that expensive and they're helpful. So what do items do? They give you more stats. So a longsword, for instance, if we click the longsword and hover it, we can see it gives us plus 10 attack damage. That means our basic attacks will do more damage. It also means our abilities that care about attack damage will also increase in power. So for instance, Riven, when you hover this, I'm not going to read it all, but you can see here it says slashes forward dealing 15 plus 60 physical damage. Okay, so that plus 60 in parentheses, that is attack damage, and it's color coded. You just have to know the color codes. But if you go to the like League wiki, you can see it all spelled out of like what kind of stat this cares about. But basically, this is saying that it deals 15 damage plus some percent of your additional attack damage. So Riven's basic attacks will get stronger the more attack damage she builds, and her Q ability will get stronger, in addition to her other abilities. So weapons give you more stats, or items give you more stats, and the stats make you better at fighting. So basically, the more items you have, the better you are at fighting. Phage includes a ruby crystal. Ruby crystal, when you hover it, you can see it gives you more health, plus 150 health. Well, guess what? If you have more health, you're harder to kill. So different champions build different things, but basically, items make you better at fighting. If you're curious about this, you can hover these and you can read this stuff. It can be interesting, but it's a lot to absorb and it's a lot to think about, and you don't necessarily want to spend a lot of time in the shop. You want to like go out there and kill minions and get in fights and learn from doing that, and then you can slowly learn about the items. But it's really hard to play this game, even if you theoretically understand a lot about the items. It's hard to play the game if you can't control your character and execute the right things. It doesn't matter how much attack damage you have if you miss most of your attacks, right? That's what I was kind of saying earlier about execution and knowing what you need to do is you really need to practice and you really need to learn how to fight, how to use your abilities, how to hit people with them, how to try to dodge other people's abilities. So that's why spending a lot of time in the shop will probably not help you because the shop is very theoretical, and kind of thinking about what item to use is not necessarily useful if you can't make your abilities land and if you can't actually hit people with your skills. So that's why I say don't spend a ton of time here early unless it's really interesting to you. Just buy the essential items and go out and see what happens. Just make sure that you're buying these upgraded level 3 items and make sure that you're buying boots. So if your inventory looks like this, your inventory looks like 6 long swords, this is not very efficient because these are basic items and you're just like, they're not gold efficient for the number of item slots you have. So pay attention to what your essential items are and make sure that you're building up into the Black Cleaver, the Death's Dance, and then you can also say, oh, this game's kind of hard. I want some defensive items. I'm going to build a Sterix Gauge. Doesn't even matter what it does. Just notice that it says it's a defensive item, and you think to yourself, oh yeah, like I want some defense. I want to be harder to kill. Buy that item. Buy the items that build into it. Don't spend a lot of time reading all the different stuff about it. It will probably just be confusing. Just buy the item, kind of knowing generally that it helps you with either defense or offense, and then go out into the world and see what it does. That's my advice for how to navigate the shop. If you have any questions, please let me know.